हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे MCS 206 ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग यूजिंग जावा का यूनिट 4 में है क्लासेस एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स। ठीक है, इंट्रोडक्शन, क्लास फंडामेंटल्स, इंट्रोडक्शन इन मेथड में, इनकैप्सुलेशन, ओवरलोडिंग, ऑब्जेक्ट पैरामीटर, फाइनलाइज। ये सारा इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, तो देख लेते हैं। A class is the basic construct of object-oriented programming in Java. It is a group of data, attribute and operation methods that work on data. A class is used to define a new data type and to create object. It provides modularity and supports information hiding. The class is a template or blueprint, and object is an instance of a class. Multiple objects can be created from a created from a single class. A class is a template for creating objects, and object is an instance of class. Simple real life example, कार क्लास का कार ले लेते हैं, ऑब्जेक्ट। ठीक है, जनरल फॉर्म ऑफ क्लास, नेम ऑफ द क्लास, दिस। Explanation in simple points. A class is defined using the class keyword. Inside a class, we can declare variables and method called members function. Data members store the object properties like this. Member function defines the behavior or action. Each method should perform only one clear task. As a programmer, we must decide you must first decide what to decide and why. Data members to store the required information. Member function to perform operation on that data. Example. Three objects जैसे student 1, student 2, student 3. Student 1 has own copy, 2 has and 3 has. ठीक है, where 3 share one copy. Display info. Creating object in Java steps. Declaration creates only a reference variable. Memory allocation, new keyword. Student step one reference variable. Do new student because Java stores object in heap memory and the variable only store the reference. Initializing object variables using dot operator. Dot operator से object के इसका once object is created, we assign value to the instance of the variable using dot. Instance of the variable. Display info before and after initialization. Display 1, display called before. Why constructs are needed? Because initializing each variable manually is painful when there are many objects. In example, name, course, इसके अंदर बहुत सारे होंगे, तो we use constructor covered later in this course. Full student program summary understanding. Student 1 declare student 1 नाम का क्या किया, डिक्लेयर किया। ठीक है, इसके अंदर ये एक मेमोरी अलोकेटेड विथ न्यू कीवर्ड. डिस्प्ले इन्फो प्रिंट्स डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू, कोर्स, रोल नंबर, एज एंड ये स्टेट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट इक्वल टू वैल्यू इन ए इंस्टेंस वेरिएबल. फैक्टोरियल प्रोग्राम कॉन्सेप्ट्स एंड फ्लो. क्लास फैक्टोरियल इंट फैक्टोरियल इन अगर n इज इक्वल टू 0 है तो रिटर्न 1 और रिटर्न n इक्वल टू फैक्टोरियल -1. रिकर्शन हो रहा है. Overall concepts you learn: class is a blueprint, object is an instance of class, new keyword allocates memory, dot operator access member, default value give when not initialize, object state depends on instance variable value, recursion, method calling itself. Assigning object reference variable. Package class person, string name integer, char string address. ये कोड है, इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन है, स्किप करके आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, टर्म्स को पढ़ लेते हैं. In Java, assigning one object reference to another means both variable point to the same object. In Java, assigning one object reference to another means pointing to the same object, so changes through one reference to the other. Method के बारे में method in Java is a block of code that performs a specific task. A method represents the behavior of an object. Methods are called using object. A method may return a value or may not. If a method does not return anything, we use void. A method can also take argument. General syntax. Example program. Class name complex, data member real, and image. Methods assigning DL assigned to the real part, assign value to the imaginary part, display the complex number. Java program. Program को हटा रहे हैं. A short example written. A method is a collection of statements used to perform a specific operation. Method define the behavior object. A method may or may not return a value. If no value is returned, the return type is void. Methods are called using object name dot method name. In complex class method, assigning real, assign image, assign values. So complex display the complex number. Static method in Java. Static method belongs to a class, not to the object. It can be called without creating an object of a class. Non-static method needs an object to be called. Static variables and methods are shared by all objects of the class. Instance variable method belong to individual object. The main method is always static. Display current date. Package data displ. Static method belongs to the class, not object. Syntax. Class name dot method name. Instance variable. Each object has its own copy. Example system.out.println uses static variable out. Encapsulation definition. Encapsulation is the process of hiding the internal details of a class and showing only what necessary to the user. A class combines data and method that operates on the data. Encapsulation acts like a contract. Data and methods. User can use the class without knowing its internal working. Interface versus implementation. Public method and constants that a user can access. Interface. Public method and constants that a user can access. Implementation. Private variables and private methods hidden from user. Public method user can access. protects data from unauthorized access, simplifies programming by hiding complexity, allows change in internal implementation without affecting user guidelines, make all instance variable private, provide public method to access or modify variable, keep helper method private, add comments to explain the class and method. In an online ticket booking system, a class may handle seat booking and payment. If rules for payment changes, you can modify the internal logic without affecting the user interface. Access modifiers. Access modifiers are keywords that define who can access the class, method, or variable. Oh, access modifier important. Access modifier are keywords that define who can access the class, method, or variable. They control the scope of method. Types of access modifier. Type of access modifier. Public, protected, private, default. Public, accessible for any class anywhere, most often access. Protected, accessible within same package and subclasses outside package. Controlled access, private, accessible only within the class, most restrictive, used for data hiding. Default, accessible only within the same package, used if no modifier is important. Can only one access modifier can be used per member. All all modifiers are optional, use as per program requirement. Why use private methods variables? To protect data from being accessed or changed outside the class. Internal helper method can be made private for modularity. Example, breaking a public method's functionality into smaller private method. Constructor in Java. Before constructor, class complex has two methods, assign real or assign img. To use them, you first create the object and then call both methods one by one. A constructor is automatically called when a class is created. It allows you to set values to instance variable immediately. Name of the constructor equal to class name, no return type. Special method to initialize object. Name as class name. Return type none. Modified Java program in which constructor है defined. कुछ है constructors. Java कोड है. क्या है constructor overloading. Overloading क्या है? A class can have more than one constructor with different parameter list. Purpose allow creating object with different sets of initial value. Compiler identifies which constructor to call based on argument passed during the creation. Initialize an object. Constructor versus method. Initialize an object. Implement behavior of object. No return type, must have return type. Class name. Class name can be different. Invoked automatically during object creation, called explicitly. Default constructor provided by compiler. In one defined. No default method provided. This keyword refer to the current object to the class. This keyword refer to the current object to the class. Access instance variable when local variables or parameter have the same name. Pass the current object to the method. Return the current object method. This resolve conflict between instance variable and local variable. Can be used to pass the current object or return type. Always refer to the object that invoke the method. this keyword to return current object. Concept: this keyword can be used to return the current object from a method. This allowed method chaining or updating object conveniently. This can return the current object, helps to method chaining and updating object easily. Only the current object instance variable are modified using object as parameter. You can pass objects to method so that the method can operate on the object data. Allow generalized method to the different object. And the difference from primitive types. Primitive where primitives are passed copies sent. ओके तो कोड है यहाँ पे. ओके लास्ट है गार्बेज कलेक्शन देख लेते हैं. गार्बेज कलेक्शन जावा ऑटोमेटिकली फ्री मेमोरी ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट नो लॉन्गर इन यूज. ऑब्जेक्ट लाइव इन हीप मेमोरी when object live in heap memory when no reference exists in memory can be reclaimed. Advantages: programmer doesn't manually free memory, easier coding, prevent memory leaks. Finalize method क्या बोल रहा है? Used to clean resources before object is destroyed. Called automatically by garbage collection when object has no reference. Can be overridden for custom cleanup. That's it. यही था garbage collection और returning object in Java.